It's time now for the press review with Solange Mougin. Good to see you, Solange.
Hi, Delano.
Now, both the French and the Italian press are all over this diplomatic war of words between Paris and Rome.
Yeah, it's all over the French and Italian press. Let's start with the French press. Le Figaro, the conservative French daily, says that the diplomatic crisis between the two countries has come up a notch, and that the decision to call back an ambassador is incredibly rare. Le Parisien goes through how the five-star movement's meeting with the French Yellow Vest protesters was just the straw that broke the camel's back. They wonder to what extent the escalating dispute has to do with the upcoming European elections. The paper says that for months tensions have been growing between the French and Italian governments, as have tensions between Italy's coalition leaders, who are as well looking to the upcoming European elections with their own individual parties.
And how have the Italians been covering this?
Well, for the conservative Italian paper Libero, the countries have their daggers out. The paper reminds us that the move hasn't happened since 1940, when Mussolini declared war. But for the Milan-based paper, this time it is France that isn't being reasonable. It says the country is like a rooster who is sticking its chest out. Il Fatto Quotidiano is much in the same vein. They say that there's little diplomacy coming from Paris. The paper says that Macron has consistently been irrespectful of Italy's populist government. And the paper goes through what could be seen as a laundry list of insults that they say the French government has conveniently forgotten.
And how is the European press covering this issue?
Well, the mounting tension has inspired the Swiss paper, the Tribune of Genève, to publish this cartoon. It makes reference to this summer's bridge collapse in Genoa, saying the road between the once friendly neighbors has now been cut.
Now, switching over to the United States, which is the press over there is reacting to a blog post from Amazon founder Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, the story is on its way to going viral. But before I get to that, let's start with Bezos' blog post. He published it on an online platform called Medium, and it's entitled "No Thank You, Mr. Pecker." Now, who is Mr. Pecker? Well, it's not Bezos' private parts, but this story does partly have to do with his nether regions. Now, David Pecker is actually the CEO of AMI, which owns the American tabloid The National Enquirer. And Bezos is accusing AMI of trying to blackmail him to stop a Bezos investigation into the company, or else they would publish pictures of his private parts. Now, why am I talking about this? It sounds like your average celebrity stuff. But the implications of this controversy go further than just a dispute between the world's richest man and an American supermarket tabloid.
Now, this scandal has potentially big political implications. Why so?
Well, the Washington Post, which is actually owned by Bezos, it tells us that this is potentially connected to AMI's political ties to Donald Trump. They are at the heart of the issue here, they say. Pecker and Trump were longtime friends. AMI helped hide stories that could have damaged Trump's campaign, and they now are part of the Mueller investigation. Claims that the New York Times also refers to. On the front page of their site, they've republished a December article in which they explain that the National Enquirer, which many Americans read at the checkout counter in their supermarkets, has become stronger than an army of Russian trolls and one of the most powerful media influencers in the U.S. because they hold Donald Trump's secrets and they helped get him elected. Now for the story going viral. It's already blowing up on social media with many below-the-belt jokes. Here's one of them. It's a tweet that reads, "I found Bezos' dick pic," and you have Amazon's smiley logo.
You never thought you'd say that word on air. Now you have. Now you have. Staying in the United States next, where for the past week a racism scandal has shaken the state of Virginia. A list of top Democrats and now a Republican have been accused of practicing blackface.
Yeah, the accusations and the spiraling developments have been creating major political turmoil all week in the state of Virginia. But what I found interesting is the discussion that's going on about blackface and what it really is. Now, James Comey, the former FBI director, explains in the Washington Post that blackface is not about emulating notable African Americans. He says that it was and was in the 19th century a practice to mock and depict black people label as lazy and stupid, and that as a college kid in Virginia in the 1980s, he and his classmates knew that, and that therefore the politicians caught doing so now in their old yearbook photos did as well. He argues that the scandal is proof that the U.S. must confront its racist past, and he says that that starts with expressing bipartisan horror at the blackface photographs of the politicians.
Indeed, because none of them have resigned for now.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Now, finally, Solange, you have a heartwarming story about a teenager over in Spain. What have they done?
Yeah, this is a story from a 19-year-old Spanish man who built himself a prosthetic arm out of Lego toys. He began engineering the Lego arm when he was 9 years old, and this is his fourth version of it. Once he graduates university, he says he hopes to create, his creation can help bring more affordable prosthetic solutions to the handicapped.
It's a very moving story, and at least he has a impressive, smart guy, and he has a colorful arm now. It's cool. Thank you very much for that. Solange Mougin there with the Press Review. You can check out other editions of our Press Review on our website. The address is france24.com.